stop to lie, won't stop to lie, can't stop to lie, won't stop to lie, can't stop to lie, won't stop to lie, ain't no Chico, just be.
Welcome y'all to TechDontSleep Podcast. It's your boy, Bill McCleskey. In the building again with Sunny Bray of Catalyst Collective. I'm so excited to talk to you. And you know how we do, guys. Every episode, our goal is to bring you a story or a guest so that we can add value to your life and your business and show you how to grow your business using technology and tell stories about how other people are doing just that. So welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You have like this calm laugh, like you're making fun of me in your head.
No.
Am I too hype?
No.
Oh, okay. That's how I roll. So listen, Sunny, tell us off top, right, about your organization. I want people to know like what Catalyst Collective is all about, what your objective is, what you do, and the value you add to your customers.
Sure. We equip organizations with better outcomes, greater impact, and increased revenue.
Wow. So give me those three things again. You equip organizations with better outcomes. What else?
Greater revenue.
Greater revenue, okay.
And greater impact.
And you do this specifically for nonprofit organizations, right?
That is where my heart and my passion lie, yes. We do serve small businesses, but we specialize in nonprofits.
Okay, awesome. And I think it's really cool because the impact is key, especially when you talk about nonprofits, because, you know, they have a fulfilling mission and they're having a certain impact in their community. So how did this idea come about? Where did it come from?
You already know. We had a conversation about this.
But the people don't know. You know, they can't read my mind.
It honestly, it came through a few different avenues. I didn't grow up wanting to be an entrepreneur. Honestly, I was more of an intrapreneur, but I was always told that I had an entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
My background is in sales and business development, primarily within tech startups. I love to help small businesses grow and scale. Pretty early on in my career, I got involved in some leadership training and some volunteerism, and my eyes were opened to what this world is in terms of poverty, hunger and homelessness. And it became less about climbing the corporate ladder and more about fulfillment and impact.
So how long ago did you start this business?
3 years ago.
So did you have a business prior to starting Catalyst Collective?
I ran a franchise. When I moved to Nashville in 2015, I launched a professional networking organization in September of 2016 called Network Under 40. And we grew it to be one of the largest YP groups in Nashville.
Wait. So you started Network Under 40 here, the franchise here? So is that the big organization that has the big networking events and all that? Wow.
That was fun. It was really fun.
So is it still around or no?
It is. It is. I transitioned out of it. I did it for about 3 years, and I transitioned right before the pandemic.
Look at you. You saw around the corner. Yeah.
So I am not an event planner, but I believe very strongly about the power of building a strong network and building relationships, authentic relationships with people, and the power that can have in your life, both professionally and personally.
Sure. So this is interesting to me because I didn't know this. By the way,
you did.
I did not know this.
It was incredible. It was.
No, I used to get all the messages on LinkedIn, and I don't think I ever went to an event. But I had colleagues and associates that used to go, and they were like, "Man, it was packed, and it was crazy." So,
but you have to understand, I did not do that by myself.
Yeah, but did you start it here? You started the Nashville franchise.
I did.
Okay.
So I got the community to buy into who we are.
Yeah.
We didn't have any kind of a budget. We got venue space for free.
Wow.
I helped them see value in allowing me to bring 100+ people into their establishment, and in turn, they would have access to an audience that they otherwise wouldn't have. Our attendees got a chance to visit different locations all over Nashville, and they got to build their network, and they got to build authentic relationships and friendships with like-motivated people.
So what's the biggest value that you got out of it personally?
It was a stepping stone, yes.
Yeah.
But in a new city, as a young adult, it allowed me to build my network.
Yeah.
I think build a brand. And personally, I got joy from seeing other people connect and be able to get clients and business partners. And I even know of some that are in relationships now.
They got married. So it's kind of like Tinder, professional Tinder.
No.
Oh my goodness. So I guess what I'm getting at too is you started the franchise. You did that for a few years, you said?
About 3 years,
About
yeah.
3
Oh,
years?
and then I forgot to mention, we always featured a nonprofit at each event.
Okay,
So it
okay.
allowed nonprofits to have a platform for visibility and exposure.
So then did that kind of open your eyes to, hey, I'm getting contacts in the nonprofit arena, and hey, maybe my next step is to start this business?
So while I had started and ran that organization, I was working with a nonprofit that I had brought here from Atlanta as well. So I was doing the two.
Yeah.
And realized that it was time for me to release those reins of Network Under 40 to be able to focus on Catalyst Collective.
Yeah, cool. So let me back up for a minute. What brought you to Nashville from Atlanta?
No, from Indianapolis.
From Indianapolis?
Yeah, my family.
Okay.
I think I shared with you when we grabbed coffee.
The Nitro, yeah.
I lost a very close friend of mine about 8 years ago, and when I experienced that, it was a switch for me. It like I said, it became less about climbing and more about impact and fulfillment and what did I want to do with the time I had left on this earth.
Wow. No, that's deep. I mean, a lot of times it's those, impending events that happen that really affect us. So what is the impact that you want to have?
I want to change the world.
And do you want to change the world through your business?
I do.
Yeah?
I do, and I'm starting in Nashville.
Yeah.
The way that I change the world is I feel in order to create meaningful impact and transformation is through uplifting and empowering our nonprofit leaders who are on the front lines of serving our underserved.
Yeah. So
they are the true heroes.
The leaders of nonprofits. Yeah. So give me an idea or maybe a case study or a success story of you working with an organization, like what you did for them and what kind of impact you had and how that was leveraged to help the organization have a bigger impact as well.
So we focus on a couple different areas, being marketing, storytelling, technology, project management. At the end of the day, we really just want to get our nonprofits the resources that they need that are going to help them further their mission. We have found through the pandemic, a lot of these nonprofits were unable to do their large, major fundraising event.
Yeah.
And so it caused them to pivot or shift. And we've been able to pick up on the storytelling piece. And so we're helping the community know who it is that they are, what they do, why they do it, what's their impact. And through those efforts, it allows them for more donors, more volunteers, and essentially be able to continue to serve more people.
Yeah. So are you helping them tell their story through, I'm assuming, virtually or digital marketing, or what type of platforms are you using and how are you doing it more effectively?
All of it. So some of them need a website refresh to allow for clear messaging. Some need completely new brand strategy. Some need a marketing strategy. Some need SEO.
Yep. Yeah. So, and that's what you guys do. Yeah.
And some need a complete new database to help engage volunteers and track and do reporting. And
does Catalyst Collective actually do the work, or do you outsource the work and bring in partners or vendors?
a little bit of both.
Okay.
So I mentioned my personal passion of building a network and the value that that brings through building relationships, I have found that there are a lot of great people in this world, and a lot of people that really do have a servant heart and see the value that nonprofits bring. And so through partnerships, through strategic partnerships, which I know you love, we agree on a preferred rate for our nonprofits.
Okay.
And our nonprofits get access to those resources. And those partners are personally vetted by me.
Yep. No, that's beautiful. You're right. I'm a big believer that strategic partnerships can help us reach our goals faster if we work together. What's the saying? You know, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with somebody. Go with a team.
Go
or something
together.
like that. Go together. Yeah, whatever. So, no, that's really true. And my business is a testament to that. What do you think, like, since you had this experience, like launching Network Under 40 and meeting all these folks and, you know, getting acquainted with the nonprofit arena and now building your business, what would you say, obviously relationships are important, in terms of networking, because I hear people say things about networking and they say, it's a waste of my time and I don't know how to network, is it worth it and all this stuff. Like, what 2 or 3 tips would you give somebody in terms of how to get the best return on networking activity?
I think there is a bit of a negative stigma with networking. I never looked at it like that. I more so looked at it as relationship building. And then the same thing with sales. I looked at it as I'm helping someone.
Sure. Yep.
But networking is just, it's going in and meeting someone and getting to know who they are and building a relation and a very organic, authentic relationship from there.
Yeah.
And sometimes you connect and sometimes you don't.
Yep.
And I think just having an open mind and knowing that, I think if you go into it with the mindset of what's in it for me,
Right. Yeah.
you're not always going to get something and you will probably be disappointed. But if you go into it with how can I serve you or what can I do for you mindset, those things always come back.
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, it's just a perspective, you know? It's a mindset, really. And I think a lot of people do go into a networking engagement thinking, hey, what can I get out of this? You know, I'm having a conversation, I got business cards, I'm doing whatever, but what can I get out of it versus how can I add value to this organization or this person? You know, when I go to an event, I just always go to have fun. I do. You know, I go to have fun and, you know, I'm down with meeting people and exchanging info, but I'm really there to have a good time. Yeah. You know, and I think if, you know, if more people treated it like a party, you know, the club, you used to hang out, you know, you ever been to the club? You see, I don't know. Some people like, I've never been to a club in the last year. No, but no, it's just about having fun.
I agree.
And being adventurous. You know, it's a journey. You know what I mean?
And knowing that you have just as much value to add to someone else's life.
Yeah. So you have purpose for being there. That's really cool. So how many organizations are you guys working with right now?
I'm not sure. I probably have to go back. We've had tremendous growth just in the last month or so. It's been great. It's been awesome. Yeah.
So just this year, like 2022, you guys have been ramping up and growing.
But I will say that we are very intentional about keeping our client base small for the time being.
Yeah.
I've experienced high rapid growth and that can be a detriment to a business just as much as slow growth.
Yeah, tell us how.
If you don't have the bandwidth.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to offer quality service. And I don't want to sacrifice that for high growth.
Yeah. That is so true. I mean, that's a nugget. You just dropped some insight there. Because a lot, you know, people just want to grow and they want to scale the hockey stick and all that.
But it's personal values too.
Okay.
For example, I've always wanted to grow and achieve and have these goals. And then through the pandemic, I think that taught a lot of us to slow down and really think about what matters and self-care. And I was pregnant during the pandemic. I recently had a baby who just turned 17 months. And so, sometimes I do have to leave money on the table.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's key. I was in a session with entrepreneurs yesterday, and Michael Burcham was teaching the class in Catalyst, the EO Catalyst program, and he said, you can't grow revenue and margin at the same time. He said it's very rare that a company or an entrepreneur will do both at the same time. They'll either grow revenue or they'll work on growing the margin. But he said a lot of times companies will grow revenue for 2, 3, 4 months, and then they'll taper off, and then they'll start working on efficiency, for margin, maybe a month or two, and then they'll go back to growing revenue. And I thought that was so interesting to me. I'd never heard it like that, but it's so true.
It makes sense. It really does.
Yeah, because, at the end of the day, you have to have infrastructure in place, and like you said, bandwidth, to be able to provide quality of service. Because I've even experienced like rapid growth and just getting a lot of customers at once.
And it's exciting.
It's exciting until people are like, what are you doing? And you are not on point, with your response time or your customer service and all that.
I don't want that.
Yeah. So it's, a lot of people say it's a good problem to have, but no, it's not. I mean, it's like, your reputation is at stake, so your values are really key. So what is around the corner for Catalyst Collective, and like what do you see yourself doing in the near future, in the next 1 to 3 years?
I would like to see Catalyst Collective become a household name in this community, to providing mission critical resources to our local nonprofits, and really, really adding value. I can see a strategic partnership with a local foundation that believes in what we do and wants to fully fund projects for our nonprofits.
Well, nice. So you're looking to connect with a major foundation, right, to fund the projects that you're working on, or some projects that you're working on.
Or a large business that wants to check off that corporate social responsibility bucket.
Yeah. No, that's
and
nice.
And really would like to see their dollars go to a tangible product for our nonprofits.
Yeah. Now, are you already having those conversations with the corporations or foundations now? I bet you are. Make it happen. I see that happening for you too.
Thank you.
You know what's interesting about you, Sunny, and Catalyst Collective. Sometimes you see people on. I was about to say Tinder. I ain't on Tinder. You see people on LinkedIn and social media.
It's the second time he's mentioned that.
No, I mean the first time. I don't know, because whatever. All right, so I'm tender-hearted. How about that? Anyway, so what was I gonna say? So I saw you on LinkedIn often, showing up in my feed. You know what I mean? And
we were connected socially before we ever actually met in person, I think.
We were?
No.
No,
do you want to hear something really cool?
What's that?
Fun fact, I never forget where I meet people. And I never forget a name.
Okay, wow. That's
you and I met at when Margaret Dolan was the new CEO of Launch Tennessee, and she did a listening tour here at the
Entrepreneur Center.
Yeah. And you were in that room.
Yeah.
That's how we met. Crazy.
Woo, that's how we met. Now, for one, when I used to see you on LinkedIn a lot, I was like, I know her from somewhere, but in my mind, I didn't remember that initially. And so I thought we had never met, but it's like, when I finally saw you in person, I was like, Sunny, you know what I mean?
Felt like you knew me.
Yeah, I felt like I knew you and stuff, because I watch your post and what you're up to, and but I think the brand and what you got going on is it stands out and it's legit. So the fact that you say, hey, I want to become a household name in this community is I think it's definitely going to happen.
Thank you.
Just keep doing what you're doing. and being the networker that you are, adding the value, So what happens to a company like yours, like in the next 10 years? Are you just blowing up or setting up offices in different cities and duplicating the model here?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure what that looks like. I have come to understand that I may have the plans and the goals, but it's never up to me. God has a plan, and all I can do is make sure that I make the decisions that align with his.
Yeah. Let me ask you something. When you work with organizations, is there a common denominator in terms of something that you always see organizations need to work on or tweak or fix? Is there something there? Is it technology, or is it organization? Is it staffing? Is there something there that you notice is a common thread?
Not all of them are the same.
Okay.
Some are more forward thinking and progressive, some are not. And they're all different sizes, shapes.
Sure.
But I would say generally it has been kind of this martyrdom or scarcity mindset even. I would love to see our world one day get to a point where social workers, healthcare workers, education, nonprofit leaders can get paid their worth and be able to afford where they live.
Yeah.
Just because they're doing servant work, and it's almost like they feel like, well, I'm doing passion. I'm working in my passion or my purpose, so I can make a financial sacrifice.
Right.
And I don't think that should be the case, considering they're out there doing the most important work, and often they're the most educated people.
Yeah. Do you think something, because I see people who do have a passion, right, for contributing in a certain arena in this world, right? And, but they figure out how to not sacrifice financially.
Yeah.
Like a good example to me is Oprah, right? So Oprah was like, she was a reporter. It didn't go well because she was so emotionally attached to the folks she was interviewing. And then she gets this talk show, and then she figures out, oh, I could actually own the show. So she keeps doing her work, and she's a big contributor to society, but she's also rich. You know what I mean? So, but I see people like that on social media and all over the place, and they figure out how to contribute with their passion and their gift. But they're also making money.
Right.
So.
Right. And I hope the same for me. I mean.
I know that's right.
I want to change the world, and I want to serve our nonprofits, but I'd also like to provide for my family.
Yeah.
And I think that that's absolutely possible. But it takes a lot. It's drive, ambition, consistency, discipline.
Because you're an entrepreneur. So even some entrepreneurs think like that. They think, if I'm a startup and I'm in the first 5 years of my business, I'm going to be broke, and I got to sacrifice. That's like a narrative.
It doesn't have to be.
No, exactly. So, I think it's a really good point.
If you really want it, you will find a way, and you will do what it takes to make those things happen, and you will surround yourself with the people that will help you get there.
Yeah. I agree with that 100%. So how is it being a mother?
It's wonderful.
So you got a 17-month-old, and how at what point do you stop counting the months and you go to the...
Hopefully soon.
Is it 2 years? Is it 24 months?
I say 1.5 years, but I think it is. I think it's at 24 months. You just say 2 years.
Yeah. And so is your little girl, does she sleep at night?
Yeah.
Oh, she does. Yeah. That's good. So I know you mentioned that, hey, I got to make some sacrifices, for the family and all that good stuff. How has that impacted your journey as an entrepreneur? Outside of making some sacrifices on, how much work maybe you take on and so forth.
Only that when I'm working, I am heads down focused in my business. And when I am not, I am present with my daughter.
Yeah.
Every Friday morning, I take her to swim. and I love it. And it's caused me to be very intentional about how and where I spend my time. I have to make sure that the things that I'm a part of align with my values and that there is an ROI. I can't be everywhere doing all the things anymore. I just don't have the energy for it either.
So did that change though when you had her, or did you just become more disciplined or focused after becoming a mother?
I think probably a little bit of both. I would say I've always been pretty disciplined, and I have my morning routine and I have my schedule and the way I like to do things. But I'm a part of a couple of groups, and it's learning to know where to say yes and where to say no, and setting up boundaries. And I talk about my family being a value of mine, and understanding that I might not be able to grow as fast as I want to in this stage of life, in this stage of business. And I've had conversations with my vault about that, with my mentor, and those things are okay. And when I share those authentic moments with clients, they understand that I am a real person, that I am a wife and a mother first. And I do want to help them grow their organization, but it allows for empathy and understanding.
And people
and I think
that.
Honestly, it's that relationship building again. They now know who I am and where my values lie, and that aligns with them.
You seem so grounded. you seem so grounded, so put together,
It's been through a lot of work.
Thank
you for that feedback.
But that's great though, because that is the foundation, that I think helps people grow and scale and attract the right team members and even the right clients, so it's really key. I think that you've given us a couple of, more than a couple, but just some genuine insight, on being an entrepreneur, being a mother, how you engage your clients and where you see your company going. Is there anything else that you want to share with us that is super? Tell us how we can get in touch with you, actually. Your website and all that good stuff.
Of course, yes.
We know you on LinkedIn every hour on the hour, except for Friday morning when you go swimming. I'm just playing.
I have a lot of exciting news to share.
I'm joking. Yes. I'm probably more on LinkedIn than you.
That is true. That is true. No, you're probably more on Instagram. You're like a local. So. You're Insta famous, aren't you?
No, definitely not. No, not Insta famous.
But yes, I have my website, CatalystCollective.co. You can reach me at Sunny, SUNNY, at CatalystCollective.co. Sunny Bray _ is my personal on Instagram.
And of course on LinkedIn.
Catalyst Collective Co.
Gotcha.
On Instagram. And then of course I'm on LinkedIn as well.
Yeah. Are you looking, I know you work with a lot of strategic partners. Are there any strategic partners that you're looking to connect with now that you don't have a relationship with? Any particular industry or anything like that?
I would like to find someone that works heavily in the Salesforce database realm.
Yeah.
That would be helpful.
Yeah.
Our clients there's a big need for reporting and data, pulling reports and data tracking, and being able to get that information quickly and effectively to their board and to their team and their funders. And Salesforce can be
complex.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I got somebody for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. You familiar with Versus 12?
Okay. So funny. I actually called and emailed Tammy right before this meeting.
Oh, you know her?
I do.
Okay, good. Good.
She's incredible.
Yeah.
And she's the reason why I am in Brain Trust right now. We had grabbed coffee and she told me about this wonderful organization that Sherry Deutschman started to help female entrepreneurs get their...
Shout out to Sherry. What's up, Sherry?
Get their businesses to 1 million and beyond. And thanks to her, I now well, thanks to Sherry and Tammy, I now have this wonderful vault of women where we experience share, and they've gone through things that I haven't, and vice versa, and saved me a lot of time in growing my business.
No, that's awesome. You got a great network. So, I mean, that's another thing. You know, you've surrounded yourself with powerful people, and you really have. So, I mean, I see great things for you. That's why I reached out. You know, by the way, just to let everybody know, I reached out to Sunny, and I said, Sunny, I looked at your website and saw some things you're doing. I'm really impressed. I'd love to have you as a guest on the podcast. She was like, let's go to coffee first. Let me see if I like you. No, you didn't say it. She was like, take me to coffee. Never mind. Hey, Sunny, appreciate you for coming in on this rainy day here in Nashville, Tennessee. Guys, we are at the Entrepreneur Center, Nashville Entrepreneur Center. And usually, if you're watching this on YouTube, this is where we film this podcast. So, but I enjoyed the conversation. Thank you so much. Y'all reach out to Sunny Bray on LinkedIn and CatalystCollective.co. Right?
That's correct.
And to engage and get acquainted with what she's doing. If you are not following us on social media, make sure you do that at TechDontSleep. And thank you so much for our sponsors for jumping in and helping us make this podcast happen, and our events. Definitely NEC, Comcast Business, and Spectrum Business. Appreciate y'all. And we got some upcoming stuff, upcoming events. Should I announce the event? I probably should say something about the event. Sunny, in March.
Yes.
March 17th, right here in Nashville at the Nashville Entrepreneur Center. We're doing our first speaker series event with Mignon Francois. Did I say that right?
I think
of the Cupcake Collection. She's going to be speaking about her story and her journey, and we're going to have some really cool questions and some engagement with her. But it's going to be exciting. NEC is sponsoring that event, so it's going to be super cool. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs are going to get some great things from her story, and just her engagement. So make sure you guys come out March 17th. What day is that?
Thursday.
It's a Thursday.
St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day, so make sure you wear green. All right. Hey, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Tune in next time. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not already. Thank y'all. Thank you, Sunny. Again. Boom.
Can't stop till I, won't stop till I, can't stop till I, won't stop till I.